Welcome back. Another Be Humane. I want to keep the conversation going about cognitive dissonance because I think it's really important, and I don't think people understand, how relevant it is and what it really means and how it affects your thinking on a daily basis. And hopefully this hits home with you. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the definition of cognitive dissonance. It's the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as related to behavioral decisions and attitude change. The most important part of that for me is the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes. So basically what that means to me, and the best way I think I can explain it is, you're a human being and you have people in your life that you love that are humans. Clearly, there's your mom, your dad, a brother, a sister, a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, cousin. There's people in your life that you love and, like I said, are clearly humans. So you have the capacity to love and to care for someone because you do in your life. So how is it possible that you love these people and you treat them humane and you love them and care about their well-being? Then you can turn around and treat other humans like shit. That being people that aren't in your circle of love. That could be black people, that could be Asian people, that could be gay people, lesbians, that could be, I know gay, lesbian, it's the same thing. Muslim people of the Muslim faith. So, white people. So think about that for a second. You have the capacity to love, but you only love these people or care about these people, but you don't care about these people. So that's inconsistent to me. And I think that's at the core of what that saying is. That's an inconsistent belief because at the end of the day, we are all humans, but you treat these humans different than these humans. And how you do that and how I see people do that in life is they are just basically inhumane. They don't see those other people as human or equal. And what I mean by that is you'll see people say things like, I've heard several times with like police shootings when cops kill black people. You hear people say, what did the black person do wrong? They don't say what did the black person, but they say, what did that person do wrong? They should have just listened to the cop. They should have obeyed the orders. They should have did this. They should have did that. You see it in the media, this black person had a troubled past, a troubled history. They've dealt with crime before. They may have a criminal record, or they did a bad thing at one point in their life, or they said something negative, or they search for bad behavior or things that they think they could use to paint that person as deserving of what they got, being treated inhumanely. They look for ways to justify the behavior because they don't see that person as an equal, as a full human. You see it in the media with white people, where you see when you see like a mass shooter that was white, you don't ever really hear the media talk about how the white guy had a troubled, had run-ins with the law. He was this, he did that, he got arrested before, he did this bad thing, he did that bad thing. The conversation is more like, it's actually more humane. It's like, what happened in that guy's life to cause him to behave that way? What went wrong? Where did he go wrong? What was the mental health issue? They search for humane solutions to the problem with that guy. And I'm not kidding. Watch when this happens in the news. It's blunt and blatant in your face. I don't want to say white media, but in most of the media, it's white people, delivering the news. And you'll see that where they'll search for humane answers to how the white mass shooter got this way, or how did they come to that. But when it's a black person, you'll hear it that the narrative is much different. It's what did he do wrong? What did he do to deserve that behavior? He shouldn't have been where he was. So that's cognitive dissonance. That's inconsistent. Because if it were consistent, you would have the same conversation about black people getting shot by the police or whatever it may be. You would have said, what was the problem there? Like, what did the officer do wrong? Did the officer do something wrong? You don't even hear those questions. Why did that happen to the black person? You don't hear those kind of questions. So that in a nutshell is what I'm trying to express here. You hear it with Mexicans, Hispanic people. You hear Republicans and people say things like, and Trump supporters, these Mexicans are bad hombres. They're painting an entire race of people with a very broad stroke, and not just weeding out, the bad ones, which you have in any race of people. That's not exclusive to Mexicans. So, bad hombres, they don't deserve fair treatment. They don't deserve to be treated humanely because they're all criminals. So it's okay to build a wall and kick them out. It's okay to round them up like animals and treat them that way. Instead of seeing them as humans with loved ones and families, they're treated as animals and inhumane. They're just treated less than human, because it's not humane to treat people that way. You wouldn't do that to your mom. You wouldn't do that to your dad. You wouldn't do that to your brother or sister. You would do that to a person you felt was a bad person. So, or a murderer or a killer. You would say, yeah, that person doesn't deserve the same treatment as these, civil people, these humane people. So that kind of behavior is wrong. You see it also with Muslims, people of the Muslim faith. They're all terrorists, so they deserve to be denied access to the United States and the country because, they're very bad people and they're of the Muslim faith. They're not Christians, so they deserve to be treated poorly. That's disgusting. Being humane, being decent is not exclusive to the Christian faith. Okay? Being humane and treating people fairly goes for everybody. Even if they disagree with you, even if they speak a different language as you. I've heard that where people who don't speak English are treated poorly because they don't speak English. They speak whatever language they speak. Spanish, Farsi, Mandarin, I don't know. People look at them as, not human. It's disgusting. So long story short, we all have the capacity to love and to care for other people, to treat other people as humans, because you do it with your family, you do it with your loved ones, with your friends and everybody. So you need to extend that to people outside of your circle of love and care. You need to see other people as human and as deserving of humane and fair treatment. Only when you start painting them as less than human is when you start to justify that kind of disgusting, inhumane behavior and thought process. I don't want to keep going back into it here, but I just keep having thoughts about times where I've seen this, and I remember seeing it really big with the protest with the NFL players and the flag. When those NFL players were taking that knee, mainly Colin Kaepernick, it was to bring attention to a number of things that are happening to the black race, as far as systematic racism, gerrymandering, police brutality, just a number of things. And so that protest was turned into disrespecting the country and the flag, which takes a certain group of people to a place where they're like, of cognitive dissonance, where they're like, hey, these people aren't Americans. They don't deserve to live in this country. They just un-American. Anything that they could say to make these people look less than human, which then gives them a green light to proceed with hate and, inhumane treatment and behavior. Round them up, deport them, kill them, whatever these really, really mean, bad people were saying. So again, that's cognitive dissonance. And you might even see that in subtle ways. It's not just always going to be outright, like blunt racism. It's going to be people having inconsistent thoughts in your daily life. And just be mindful of it, because I'm sure a lot of you might do it and not even know you're doing it because you're in unfamiliar territory. So next time you see some kind of inhumane behavior or treatment or something bad happening to a person, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, gay, whatever it is, before you rush to judgment, just take a step back and try to look at what's happening and think about that person as a loved one, or someone that has loved ones with family and friends. And then you might begin to see things in a different light and see people in a different light and become more well-rounded and educated as far as how we should treat each other in the world, and how we can become more consistent in our conversations and treatment of others, rather than, retreating to your circle of trust and love, where you have your people and everybody else is, not your problem. Which is a whole other conversation to have, how I'd like to do that someday, how I think other people's problems should be our problems. Because eventually we're going to need their help, they're going to need our help, or their problem gets bigger to the point where it now affects us. So thinking, individually isn't going to get us very far. We need to think as a collective group and consider our planet, our surroundings, what's happening around us, so we can better life for us, for all the other species, and life on the planet and the planet itself. So there you go. I'm editing right now what I just filmed with the Be Humane, and I just had this thought when I was sitting here going through it and listening and putting everything together. I want to add this real quick. I hear this with me personally in my life with cognitive dissonance, where people will say, where I've had white people say to me, "Oh, Matt, you're an okay black person. You're one of the good ones. You're fine. You speak intelligently. You are this, you're okay, you're whatever. I'm like, okay, that all may be true, like meaning like I'm just meaning that I'm a good person or whatnot. But the only thing that's different is you know me. People who've said that to me is you know me. That's the only difference. You need to take time to get to know other black people, other Muslim people, other gay people, other transgender people, other Asian people, whatever it is. That's the difference, is you know me. You haven't taken time to get to know the other people in that race. And I've heard that several times, not with just me, just with other some of my other black friends, where I've heard that they'll always say, "Hey, well, you're one of the good ones, or you're okay," and all that. I'm like, no, that's just because you know us. That's the only difference. So that's the last thing I want to end with. I just shot this on my phone real quick, so I can just shove it over here into onto my computer, so I can add it.